G'day everyone, welcome to the Captain's Corner Fantasy Edition. I am your host, Matthew Harris. Here with me, as always, Dustin Richards. How are we, mate?
Mate, I'm pretty good, you know. This week, I had a better week this week. I didn't score abysmally bad.
You know, I can
So,
vouch for that. It was about the same for me. I think I got like 17 or 1800 this time.
oof, very nice.
1858. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's my highest ever score, actually.
I got 1900 a couple of weeks ago, so I'm gunning back for the top.
Well, a way to just like kick me in the dick there. Wow. Don't
Ah,
don't want to let
alright.
me
You probably
feel
didn't feel
good.
anything.
You know what? I'm feeling good because I had a good performance on the field at least. I mean, so did you. You had a
Yes.
bloody stellar performance.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah,
Thank you very much.
should we get straight into things?
I think we should, to be honest.
All
Yes,
right.
let's do it.
Top 17 team of the week. Did you want to do the backs? I start on the forwards.
Sounds good to me. So, team of the week, once again, for the third week in a row, Tyler Almatangi, 169 points. Nice.
Nice. Damn it.
um, our back, rounding out the back three, two wingers. You got Corey Bell and Cooper Gronk. 157 for Corey, 117 for Cooper Gronk. Joey Kelly, 153. What a buy if you picked them up. I didn't. And Dommy Ponkston, 130.
I think
However,
everyone
that's going
but
to
you
teed
picked
up.
him up.
What was that, sorry?
I think everyone but you picked up Kelly.
Yeah, look, I had other things to deal with, okay? Dommy Ponkston, even though he got injured, he still got 130, so good job to Dommy Ponkston. In our halves, for the first time ever this season, Kieran Rolls won't appear in the halves, as Jaden White and Sonny Tyre will appear. Jaden White with 139 and Sonny Tyre 143.
Not too bad at all. I honestly am just happy not to see Kieran Wells there. He's done too good for too long. Let someone else have some limelight. Um,
Yeah.
did you want to do the hooker as well?
Yeah, sure, I'll do the hooker. It's actually James Thorne, so he appears once again. He'll be your captain as well for the best team of the week. He got 209. Therefore, if you captained him, 418 points.
Jesus. We'll talk more about him in our I forgot what it's called. Gun of the week.
Gun of the week. Yep.
I'm not the brightest. Anyways, let's get into the forwards. So for our first prop, it's none other than myself, scoring 138. Partnering me in the front rows, Callum Irwin, 117. Solid performances from both of us. Our back row is Milo Kerrigan again. I think he's been in every week almost.
Nearly, yeah.
And Jackson Allison, 92. Coming off the bench, that's pretty damn good. At 13, rounding off our starting side, we have Mark Lee scoring 130. And on our bench, rounding it off, we have Blair Curtin, 191. Hell yeah, 136. KCK, 105. Actually, I believe KCK got 128.
128. I
Yeah.
might have been wrong there.
Yeah, KCK's definitely got 128. He was my captain, so.
Oh, yeah, you did too. I don't know what I was looking at. My bad.
That would have actually put him. That would have put him in front of Cooper Gronk. Actually, he would have been in the number 5
He
spot.
wouldn't. He doesn't have dual position, so unfortunately not.
So yeah.
Fullback primary.
Okay. And because he's switched so much during this season, he hasn't been able to get another one.
Yeah, that's correct. I believe. How many times has he started 5'8" for you guys?
He's
Twice.
started. Yeah, this is the second time this week.
All right. So if he gets selected at 5'8" next week, he'll gain dual position.
Okay, easy as. Might do that just so I can get him in the halves.
I might too, to be honest. I got a sneaky little plan.
And yeah, rounding off our bench is Luke Short, 111. Great performance in a losing side from him. It was really a battle between me and him at the start of that game. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's actually the first time you boys have been on Team of the Week this season, I believe.
Sadly, I know that. I'm just happy to get a good performance in. It's been a while.
Oh, time will come, mate. You know, playing front row isn't the easiest of jobs.
Well, one
But
thing I'll mention, which is a testament to my scores, not like you get some props that will score 40, 50 because they just don't get involved. But this season, like I think my lowest was like 50 odd, but I've hit 80 twice, then got this 138. Um, I've equaled the record for most tries by a prop in a season in 4 weeks. So
what?
I'm looking to break that.
Him, you might just okay. Got a question for you. If you so we all know your plan is to get front row forward of the year,
Hell
lock
yeah.
prop of the year. Does that mean when you captain the Roosters, you're going to go back to lock next season?
That is actually the likely scenario.
Boys, you heard it here first. You got a discounted Matty Harris. Buy him next season straight up, and he's in the front row. And here's the thing: if you don't play an ounce of lock this season,
I mean, I play lock every game. I play 15 minutes back end every game.
well, starting, I should say, if you don't select yourself at starting lock,
Oh, I'll just be a primary prop, no secondary.
yep, that's the facts. You'll be a primary front row forward next season.
Well, there we go. There's your first pick for a prop next season, guys. Anyways, should we get into the gun of the week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our gun of the week, as spoken before, is James Dawn. 209 points. Now, James was our gun of the week a couple weeks ago when he broke the record with, I think it was like 252 or something ridiculous
Maybe
like that.
246.
Yeah, looking it up now. James Dawn, there we are. 246, yeah, there you go.
I'm surprised I got that right. But yeah, scored 209 this week, and looking at his stats, just like 278 meters, which is kind of like usual for the hookers. They're going to get a lot of meters, but where he shines, 28 tackles with only 2 missed, 2 line breaks, and a try. Like absolute solid performance. Really, was one of the main factors in why the Broncos got the chocolates.
Oh, certainly. And, you know, he's not the only one, but James is I think he scored, like you said, scored a try, and there was a lot of brilliance by him, but, you know, he had Joey Kelly back at fullback, and he got Gilly on his left-hand side, so those boys really helped him out. Joey Kelly back at fullback was outstanding, and if you do own him in Supercoach, you must be yahooing like crazy. I'm crying like crazy. That's how bad it was.
Honestly, expected him to get like 3 or 4 tries, but he did the job. Scored high still. He made 8 or 9 line breaks. Scored a try.
Yeah,
Solid
well,
work from Joey as well.
it's out of him and Kieran Wells for Hooker of the Year at this moment. Like, Kieran has been phenomenal. Just that entire Cowboys side, you know, Kieran hasn't scored below 120, near 130 every game. He's been up near the high 180s. His highest being 212, so it's him and Thorne for Hooker of the Year at this point.
I couldn't agree more. Hopefully Jimmy comes into a bit of finals form, tries to sneak up in that rankings.
I think you boys will. It's just a matter of time. You know, you guys were a bit out of rack at times last season, but you can get it when it counted. So you got that experience when needed. You know.
We know how to play in the championship minutes.
Well, our speaking of champions, this isn't our champion of the week. It's actually our dud of the week. Tallis Riff. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, and I think you questioned it too, didn't you? I was like, why is he in here? Not a lot of people own him. Well, if you were, for me, Tallis was a guy that rounded out your side with. Like, he was someone that, if you needed one extra second row, and you wanted someone cheap, you just went Tallis, and he did gain a lot of money when he got 111 points, but then it just dipped. He went to 21, and then 40 now, so he's obviously dipped a lot in price. So he's kind of the dud, and he's still active, we know, because of little thing he made in player-made content last night. But yeah, if you own Talus, and it's not probably the greatest idea to play him, I'd probably sell.
Probably, yeah. I don't actually own him, so I won't have to do that. But like, he only played 18 minutes, come off the bench at prop, had 2 runs for 3 meters, 7 tackles with 1 miss. Like, big yikes.
Yeah,
It's only so much you can do in 18 minutes, but we've seen some players can make an impact in that small amount of time. But like, yeah, this just wasn't one of those performances for him.
100%. And Broncos are a really good side when they click on, but at this certain moment, when you do have a good side, there are the people that drag the chain. Like that 40 is very much fluctuated because of they won. Um, so it's a bit concerning when a guy if you get 18 minutes out of it and you still get 40, that's okay. But for his price, which is currently 280, and he's just continually losing you money, you'd probably want to go for someone else. Like, I think it's Caleb J. But there's a guy making his debut this week for Broncos. I can't remember who.
Oh yeah, Caleb J.
It's Caleb J. Yeah, there you go. So, might be time to do that if I was you. You also got also Felix Stoder. He got injured. He won't be playing.
That's a big along with Pongston.
Oh, we'll get to... Oh, Pongston being out is going to hurt a lot of teams. But here's the question. Do you sell? My answer? I'll get to why I did sell him, but I'll tell you guys why.
I think, I think it's got something to do with our hot buys, eh?
Yeah. Well, also, when Dom comes back, he's versing Cowboys.
That is actually. So it's basically 2 weeks of probably low scores. Well, definitely low score in the first week. He's going to get a 0.
Big fat 0 because you guys verse them. So mainly verse Newcastle. And in the following week, around that 80 mark, I would say, for Dommy Pongston. Because I think Cowboys forward pack is just a little bit better, if not the greatest forward pack at the moment.
The only reason I could even see for keeping Dom Pongston at the moment is maybe for the VC trick.
Yeah, very true.
Should we move on to our sells, which I'll start it off. The chance you guys have taken on bunts, maybe.
Oh, that's sneaky.
That is exactly why I wanted to start it off. I had thought of that joke 5 minutes ago. But yeah, the chance it's backfired. He just like the Warriors, he hasn't been performing along with them. He still has a decent price on him, so sell him before it gets lower. For his sake, I hope it gets higher. Because, I want nothing but the best for him. But, we talk truths, we talk facts here, and it just hasn't gone right for the Waz and Bunsey.
Well, here's the thing. You could definitely lay it down to performance, but I think if you look at it, his archetype also, it's not suited to that mold. Chance was one of the highest fullbacks last season. He's to begin with, he was near that 1.3 million mark. He was really, really good. However, he dropped a lot in form, and he actually ended up becoming... Where is it? Oh, there you go. He ended up being below $1 million. So he lost about $300,000 in price, around there. So it's just a show of form of the Warriors for the past 2 seasons. And when the Warriors aren't performing, Chance isn't performing. They've definitely lost a lot of character in the last 2 seasons, and it seems the Wars are a type of team that won't experiment in the long term. You know, they they won't. If something's not working, they'll stick with it for another 2 weeks and then change it, but then stick with that for another 2 weeks. And in a very shortened season, you just can't do that.
That's what
So
the Sims are for. Get all
yeah,
get all
oh,
your experiments done in the Sims, and then pick what's the best one.
exactly. And even I learned that the Sims can't mirror what will happen on game day. Like I remember I used to do a lot of Sims, but it was around when the nines, you know, when we did that nines last season.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did that. I simmed the entire comp, and Rabbitohs ended up winning. We did make the grand final, obviously, but we lost to Cows in the end. And Cows kind of, I think they flogged us. And in my Sims, it was close. So like, it
so
I'm
the
not a
Sims aren't the be all end all, but it is still a good indicator. And you never just do one sim of a particular lineup. You do a couple to try to
yeah,
get like an average of how they're going to perform. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, Sims aren't be all end all, but still are a good indicator. You don't want to do your testing in the actual games.
100%. And I view those as an array experiment, like what we did during the off season. Like I think you guys do it as well as like where's Milo going? Um, how does Corey Bell, like you said it prior, how does Corey Bell perform in this game? Stuff like that. Yeah, and you also get a good indication of where players can get their super coach points. You know, the left edge will always get the higher points than the right edge because they touch the ball a lot more, although the right edge does defend a lot more, so it kind of evens out sometimes as well.
100%.
Depends on what type of game you're playing. If you're playing an attacking game, the left side will score more. If you're playing a very defensive game, the right side will score more.
I've actually
Or,
noticed that quite a bit. I've
yeah.
done like bloody 15 to 20 sims just this last week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, not just Manly, Roosters as well. Um, but
Uh oh, you didn't congratulate me. I'm the VC for Newcastle.
I didn't congratulate you publicly, but if you insist, I want to stroke your own ego. Congratulations, my bro, on becoming the VC for the Knights.
Thank you very much, much appreciated.
That
Can't wait to
that
watch
that,
Dom
co- that
Thompson
comes
again.
bloody I forgot the words. After almost signing with us. So it's a
Yes,
bit of a
I was
heartbreak.
very close to signing with the Chooks, but you know,
I,
I
kn-
needed to further my, I needed to further my career, and I wanted a captaincy role in some regard.
I mean, if you think about it, your career would have been favoured more if you came to us and won the comp with us. Not going to be
Whatever.
winning the comp over at the Knights, mate.
Rings will come. You know, I got a plan. I'm gonna make a plan sometime soon. But no, trust the process. I say, uh, Rome wasn't built in a day.
I'm going to retract that statement because my team plays them this week, and knowing that I've
Yeah,
just
knowing
talked
your
shit,
fucking luck.
knowing my fucking luck, I've just talked shit about the team I'm playing. I'm losing 100%.
Everyone captains someone from the Knights.
Or just tip them like 9 to 18.
Hmm.
Anyway, should we move on to our next cell?
Yes, I think this is gonna be an obvious one.
You want to take the honors?
I will. So this is very much like the. I don't think you played at this type of time period. What I'm going to refer to. Uh, if everyone who played first week last season, you would have known Xavier Demando popped off. Like I mean, popped off at that ring spot, and everyone brought him in. Like, oh fuck, is this how good the Raiders are still? Boom, Xavier's going to be good. What happens? The next couple of weeks he does shit and he never reaches that form again. Exactly what happened to NBT. Uh, Look, NBT has got a lot of respect for the guy, but unfortunately he just hasn't reached that level that he did in the first week. In the first week he gained roughly... Hang on, come on, should have had this prepared. NBT scored 127. The next 3 weeks, all below 50. Week 2, 12 points. Week 3, 46. Week 4, 37. And because of it, he's now lost you money. So all the money you could have gained, roughly about 200k, is now gone. You've lost it. You lost your chance, unfortunately. But
he just stole your money and your bike.
Sorry?
He stole your money and your bike. You just lost all ends up with him.
Honestly. And, I say sell now because it's just going to be another tough week in my opinion. Because Storm and Cowboys. Cowboys at home. I think I did the stats for Joey Kelly when he versed Cows. And I do have it here. Cowboys have leaked 55.5 points per game to left edge wingers, which is a little higher than his break even of 42. It could be a risk because of those current history he has currently. He hasn't scored above 50 in 3 weeks. He has, and for me against the Cowboys, it's something you don't want to risk.
100% agreed. Also, to your point, with Demando last season, I came in round 2, but used the round 1 scores to kind of base my side of like who's going good, who's going bad. So I did put Demando in my side to get like slaughtered by it.
Yeah, he was a hot buy. Also, we'll mention. Sorry, we've only got 2 sells this week and 2 buys. However, you have a third trade option.
Oh yeah, there is free trades. I completely forgot about that.
Yep,
Thank you for reminding me.
No worries. However, next week it will revert back to 2 trades until a couple more weeks. I think I said week 7, week 6 is the next third trade.
Like the third of the way in the season, 2/3 of the way in the season, kind of thing.
Yeah, round 7 you can get 3 trades. So run home basically.
Right, should we move on to the first hot buy, which I feel like it'd be fitting if I talk about this one. Hot buy, I think he was a sell the other week, but hot buy is Chaz Dingo. Absolute, he's playing fullback again, and as the Manly captain, I can tell he's going to be playing fullback for pretty much the rest of the season. Kane's only got 1 more game of fullback. Things can change though. But yeah, his previous price was 1.3 mil. He's currently worth 772k for a fullback of Dingo's caliber. It's a must buy in my opinion. He's too good of a player, and he scores good anyway. His average is 111, probably due. Is that average for his fullback average or overall?
Overall.
Well, yeah. So his average is only a 111, but he hasn't been playing fullback for the entire season. So that the lower score from the halves would have brought that down a little bit. But he's, from my experience, because I had him all throughout last season in the fantasy as well, he generally scores 140 or above. Like, I never see him having a truly bad game.
He was the guy to have at the back end of the last season. Do with that information as you will. He, like, mainly in the back end of last season, as you know, fucking popped off. Like, they got back to Season 3 form.
Hey.
Pardon?
I said, hey.
Yeah, that's how good they were. Season 3, Season 4, Manly were a beast. Thank God I never verse those teams. I would be scared. Actually, thank God I didn't play for the Rabbitohs in those seasons. I would have been, like, just very sad. Like, very, very sad. Fuck you.
I'm pretty happy, eh?
Well...
Like if you got green on your jersey, you're gonna lose a grand final to Manly. That's just the rules.
Yeah. Fuck. Poor Raiders. Poor Raiders. Okay, but no, for me, like just looking at that price, much needed buy. Knights, no Dommy Ponkston, so they're gonna have some tough carries out of their back end. Uh, who was replacing Domi?
Rashford.
Ashford. Look, we all know how fast he can be off a kick return. In the first week, did some really good stuff. I think he scored like 3 tries out of like 7 or something like that. Something ridiculous. So Rashford, very fast guy. I would personally look, if you have a Rashford, definitely do play him because one, he's a winger, getting fullback minutes and fullback stats.
I would say, considering you got a third trade, if you don't have Rashford, just him playing that fullback for 1 week will boost his price regardless. So you can get a bit of cash just from that 1 week alone.
I agree. And then that can give you to your Chaz Dingos or KCKs or whoever you want. Uh, Also, we'll say Knights have conceded 110 points per game to fullbacks this season.
Hopefully, it's a
So
lot more. I hope Dingo scores 5.
I hope he does too. Look, that'll also break the record, so maybe not.
Did you
Give it
did you
to
call
Terry
him
Diggs.
Daddy Dingo in the bloody notes?
Yeah, it did.
You know what? I respect an honest man.
It's the nickname that Tyrone and Liam gave to him.
Fair. Was that
Because
during the season that he lost to him, or the one that he
no, that
lost
was
with him?
last season. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
And now whenever like all three of us are always in the VCs watching games. So whenever Dingo does something good, Tyrone just yells out, "Daddy Dingo!"
That reminds me back in season 3, I think it was. Um, an old player, what's his name? Malachi Booth.
Oh
Um,
god.
Basically, he's this big, brolic black dude. So we'd either call him Requise, or I don't know if you've ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but
Oh, I love that show. It's my
uh,
comfort show.
the other name we would yell for him is Velvet Thunder. Anytime he made a break, we'd just be like Velvet Thunder as he's scoring a try or whatever, and it was just a mad vibe. But back in those days, we'd get like 6 or 7 in the VC. It was pretty good.
Whatever happened to Malachi Booth?
He
Because like
he went
he was
inactive.
MVP. Yeah, like why? I never understand. He was on top of his game. Like sure, he was having a rough patch during last season, but like he won the MVP in his rookie year, didn't he?
It was in his second year, but as his captain, I know of I've been there. He was never active.
Really?
I would have to message him every single week to get an upgrade, and even then, half the time he wouldn't upgrade. He would upgrade 1 week, miss 2, upgrade 2, miss 1. It got to a point,
Jesus.
the back end of last season, I'm like, screw it. I'm going to stop messaging him on purpose so he gets, because I would rather someone that's actually into the SRL in the squad. So bloody, I actively just stopped messaging him. He didn't upgrade, and we brought in Corey Bell to get the chocolates.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was ended up being a planned move.
Oh,
Yeah,
sneaky, sneaky.
it worked, It worked.
It did. You won a fucking premiership with it, you cunt. Alright, next hot buy, which I'll introduce, is Chris Lord. Now, usually we try and whenever we do duds, we try and fill in with hot buys, but this week we didn't because I really saw no one but Joey Kelly, or as you mentioned, Miko Rashford to replace
Oh,
MBT.
I mean, yeah, Miko Rashford's the perfect replacement for him.
Yeah, most likely. There you go, Miko Rashford. There's your hot buy.
Yeah,
Third hot
yeah,
buy.
we already spoke about him.
But yeah, Chris Lord. Previous price was $983,000. He's now worth 1.1, on the cusp of 1.2. So he's gained a fair bit of money. He's averaging 125s per game, and it's our Lord and Savior Chris Lord.
It's Jesus Chris.
Jesus Chris, my bad. What more can we say? Logan Strange medal. He's in the race for it again. He's leading it, and with Tyrone Clay and Corey Bell behind him, just Genuine workhorse. He'll play as long as he can. He's scored nothing below. Oh, get on the right one, please. Chris Lord. He scored nothing below 100.
I think he's only been playing 60 minutes as well.
Yeah, roughly about there. Look, you could be in for a treat because they've got Storm this week. They've got Knights next week. We all know how ill-disciplined both these teams can be. They're very hot and cold. If Knights have a game like they did against the Eels a couple of weeks ago against these boys next week,
If the Knights play like that, it's going to be 50+ Cowboys.
would that break the Warriors record for like 48? Oh yeah, because it was like 48-0, wasn't it?
I think it was 54-6, which is I can't remember. Was it Warriors over the Cows or Cows over the Warriors?
Most points per game, Warriors 54, Season 2, Round 5.
Okay, so it was Warriors that beat the Cows then.
Oh, really? Wow. Biggest winning margin was by that, so 48-6. And then the record below that we don't have to read out because it's not relevant. But yeah, Chris Lord, everyone. Get him. Get Mika Rashford.
If you got
Chris
the money,
Lord.
get him.
Oh yeah, and if you want, even splash it to like a James Thorne because fuck me. If he can get 209, if he can get above 200 twice in a month, you're doing pretty fucking well.
100%.
For me, I'm gonna read out my trades right now for you boys. I got in Chris Lord, Chaz Dingo, Joey Kelly. I traded out Matt Harris, Chance Bunce, Dom Pongston.
Prick.
Wait, you got me my cash. Now fuck off.
That's fucked up, bro. Is that all I am to you, a cash grab?
Yep. I thought you were gonna score more. You didn't. Now you're gone. I brought you up lock. How good way it is.
Did you know I wasn't playing lock?
Oh, I knew it too, and I'm like, oh, he's pretty good. I'm sure he'll do alright. He served me good last season. I was fucking dumb. I don't know why I didn't.
Bloody idiot.
I know. I think you were fucking like more expensive than Chris Lord too.
See, I almost actually just played lock anyway this season.
Yeah, no.
So basically, when I signed Jordan Williams, it was under the pretense like you'll be our lock because that's where he wanted to play, wanted to get a big name in. But then after we had already made the signing and all that stuff, we were talking, and he just straight up said like, you know what, I'm not too fussed on the lock anymore. Like I just want to be in a winning team, a good culture. If you think it's best that I play like prop, I'll play prop. I'm like, bro, I signed you as a lock. I'm sticking with that. But I had the choice to go lock if I wanted to. But at this point now, I just want to get prop of the year.
You could have saved me the heartache. What are you doing to me?
You know what? Fuck you.
Love you too. This is why I didn't come to the Chooks. Not gaming.
No, it's the fact you're a rabbit is the reason why I'm saying fuck you.
And a Canberra fan in real life, so double whammy for you, mate.
Yuck.
Yeah.
So milk's supposed to be good for the bones, but you're playing for Rabbitoh, so there's no bones in your mouth to like really fix.
Hey, yo.
Should we move on to our captains? The captain's choice, that's what we're calling it, right?
Yeah.
Did you want to start off?
Yes, the captain's choices are VC, first game of the round, Kevin Dixon, averaging 130, second week back from injury. For me, I think this is a solid VC for you, if not for everyone. Look, I think he's the better option out of the two fullbacks here. Raku Manu hasn't scored 100. He's actually been scoring think like
Do you mean
81.5.
Cody Mansour?
Huh? No, Raku Manu. We're versing Eels.
I thought you were talking about the options for VC.
No. Sorry.
My bad. My
No.
bad.
Yeah, so Raku has scored 82 and 81 in the past 2 games, whereas Kevy Dix, the legend himself, has scored 118, 123. And one of those weeks was from injury, so he had a big fat 0 in one of those weeks. But I think he would be the better vice captain option out of those 2 fullbacks, and he can just tear teams apart when he wants to for funsies.
Yeah, I agreed. The only risk in that is the potential that Rabbits
Of an
play
injury.
Clay. Well, one's injury or having Clay play 40 minutes of fullback.
That's another good point.
But yeah, next VC, none other than James Vaughan. I think it speaks for itself. Um, he's a
Fuck.
bloody hooker. If he was kicking conversions too, I could only imagine what he scored to get to. But yeah, bloody. Yeah, he plays tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So the VCs are usually the first 3 games of the round. First 3, and then the captains are the last 3. So we have 1 VC in the 3rd game and a captain in the 3rd game, if you know what I mean by that.
Yep, yep. But yeah,
Sometimes I'll shake it up.
but yeah, feeling a little bit saucy.
You
But
know,
yeah, James Vaughan, bloody, like I said, speaks for itself. He's gonna score big. I know I'm trading him in this week. I got some cash to splash. Um, honestly, he's probably gonna be my captain. I reckon he's just gonna score big. I'm willing to take that risk.
very fair. Yeah, look, I got some plans next week. Pending price changes, obviously. I'm looking to get my 3rd half in because I've only got 2 at the moment because my 3rd is a dev player. And I haven't used the captain's loop yet. So I myself might just ring it and go, fuck it, I'm going a 3rd half and I just won't do the captain's loop at all. Or I'll just get a dud centre wing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Did you want to bring up the next VC?
Yeah, so Cody Mansour's our next VC. Look, his average might not be up there. It's 73. He's a cheapie at fullback. He played well last week. He scored 112 and 92 in his first 2 games at the fullback position. So he's averaging about 102 in the first 2 weeks at fullback. He's gained owners about 500k. He's still affordable if you want him. He's a primary. I think it's just primary centre wing.
Yeah, it's probably why his
Yeah,
average is low, is because he did start off, I think, in the centres.
Yeah, he did. Right centre. So there you go. Waz haven't won a game all season, which is disappointing for him, as of course, for them, of course. So their defense hasn't been great off kick returns, especially last week. Broncos scored like 2 or 3 off kick returns. So if one of those back 3 get the ball, we could be saying bye bye. I score a try easily.
That's it.
Alrighty, our next one.
All right, next one, another more obvious pick, Kieran Wells. He didn't have his best performance last week, but with the Cowboys, they're never down for too long. They are playing the Storm, so might be a little bit risky, but that's why you got your VCs for. If your VC scores big, you do the trick if you can. But at the end of the day, he's still a hooker. I think he's a goal kicker, right?
Yep.
He's still a hooker. He's still goal kicking. You can be in a losing side and still score big.
I think it's just what forward pack gets on top first. Because They have like Storm are really good with their forward pack. Like with Fehu back this week as well for Storm. They get some good leg drive through the middle, but you also got to think how easy did the Cowboys get on top last week? You know, the moment they could, they got into the red zone and fucking scored. You
Except for
don't
the
see
second
teams
half,
flipping a switch like that.
Raiders really defended their asses off in that second half.
Yeah, they really did. And not only that, they didn't submit their substitutions to Lockie
Oh,
last week. So, their substitutions kind of got fucked up. So Tim James got subbed off at half time.
bloody hell.
Yeah, so imagine if it happens again. But, it could have been different. Also, I think that was the first game from Canberra where it wasn't decided by 2 points.
Yeah,
Just 4.
It's 4.
Just 4.
Oh no, it's the second game. Last week it was decided by 1.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Within 2 points, I should say, then.
So if you're tipping Raiders games 1 to 8, it's the way to go.
Oh, yeah, honestly, though. Wait, who do Raiders got this week?
Cowboys.
No, they don't. They got
Oh,
Brisbane.
yeah, Brisbane, yeah, Brisbane.
Gonna quickly change. Oh, who are we reckoning wins that? Brizzy?
I know I tipped Brizzy 9 to 18. Might change that to 1 to 8, eh?
Yeah, I'm doing it as we speak. Oh, yeah, I did Broncos 9 to 18. I'm changing that. There you go. Broncos 1 to 8.
I swear if Broncos now win 9 to 18, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, it's going to happen. 70 people have tipped Broncos 9 to 8.
You know, us taking our votes off has changed the 5, like Broncos 9 to 18, to 69 votes. Nice. I got it first this time, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you. Rounding it off, we now have... Oh, no. My captain's choice is Corey Bell. Now, look. You notice that I didn't... So, Penrith and Warriors are the third game this week. I didn't do a VC or cap... I didn't do a captain for that game because it's too fucking unpredictable. They can be very cold, both those teams. And I just thought Corey Bell has been so phenomenal at fullback at times.
I wouldn't even say at
deserved the
times.
captain's
He's
spot.
been phenomenal every single game he's played. He scored doubles in his losses, his wins. He's just doing everything.
The fact he's a platinum, he's going to be one sought after platinum, eh?
Honestly, I reckon Storm won't let him go.
Well, then Luke Marcus gets...
Yeah. Marcus,
I reckon Luke Marcus has to go.
Marcus back to Panthers.
By the way, this is only predicted.
Yeah, well, it's our educated guess. We just look at the current highest overalls. We kind of predict where they're going to be at, and
Yeah, that's right.
that's how I'm doing my signings too. Like me and Blair, we got our own list of like the top. Like we actually have it like marked with platinums, gold, silvers, bronze, and all that in order.
You're not the only one, mate. Don't worry.
No, I'm assuming we're not the only smart ones.
Yeah, you got me and Dobby Pongston, 2 smart men.
I mean, you support the Raiders. You can only be so smart.
I got forced to. All right.
Hey,
my dad.
no, you can't use that excuse because when I was like a kid, my mum tried to force me to support the Bulldogs, and I said, "Get fucked." Soon as I was able to make my own decision, I decided. It was that 2002 grand final. I said to like my mum and like all her friends when we were watching the game, whoever wins, that's my team, and I'm going to stick with them. Thank fuck the Roosters won.
Well, I got go. So do you want to say your last guy?
Yeah, Chaz Dingo. We spoke about him in the buys of the week. Versing a night side without their primary fullback. They also have a rookie on the wing coming in for his first ever SRL game. Not only that, but like fullbacks are scoring decently well against the Knights as well. I think Dingo's in for a big one. I hope Dingo's in for a big one.
So do I. Please don't let it be for nothing that I traded him in.
Please,
If not,
please, because I'm
good little
trading him
cash
in
grab.
as well. But bye, KCK. You got me my money. Basically, what you did with me, I'm doing with KCK.
Very well.
But yeah,
Wow.
on that note, I think that's all of it. We've
I
covered
think
everything.
so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Bye bye. Have a great time.